Hey YouTube, how y'all doing? I'm going to do a quick review on some Berettas. 92FS, 84FS, PX-4. The 92FS is nice. It has classic lines. These have all been safety checked. It has a slide mounted safety. The sights are right there. Double single action. 34.4 ounces. Here we go. This firearm will stay in my memory for a long time. It was the first firearm I held at the gun store when I knew nothing about firearms. The sales representative there told me that this one is a good beginner gun since it's a double single action, and I had no clue what that meant. But he told me that you can fire from just taking the safety off, or you can cock the hammer back, firing single action. And he told me that when you have it on safe, it decocks for you. So he told me that this was good for starting off. But nevertheless, look at the lines. It's beautiful. It is a little heavy. Aluminum alloy frame. Steel slide and barrel. This version here is made in the USA. And it has the steel guide rod, which is very nice. Something you'll notice in a Beretta is when you slide back, very smooth, very nice. The finish on this is amazing. Everything, every last detail. It feels like quality, and that's why I like Beretta. Comes with 2 mags. There you go. It's just beautiful. Most people recognize this from all the movies they see and stuff. Little lanyard loop there. If you're starting to get interested in firearms, I would suggest this as a first one, even though it was not my first one, only because at the time I couldn't afford it. But yeah, it's an awesome gun you could hand down. It'll last a while. It just feels solid. The PX-4 Storm, which is this one, was my second firearm I ever purchased. I went to Academy, checked this and the Stoeger Cougar out, and the 92FS, and it boiled down to those 3. Then it went down to this or the 92FS. I didn't want a Stoeger Cougar. So after a while thinking it over, I decided to go with the PX-4 in a 40. Similar features, slide mounted safety decocker. It has a nice feel when you rack it back, and it has a rotating barrel, which you can see it. Not only does the barrel go back, but it rotates, absorbing some of that recoil, making a less felt recoil by taking some of that force back and converting it to lateral. In other words, it disperses some of that recoil from going back and into your hand. Instead, it just goes to the side. So you feel a little bit of torque when you shoot this gun. It snaps a little bit up and to the side. Slightly. It's hard to explain. But anyway, it has a skeletonized trigger. Hammer, I mean. This one a little bit less heavy than the 92FS, weighing in at 27.5 ounces. The takedown on this is amazingly simple. One, there's two, just down, and that's it. It slides right off. No pulling the trigger, no nothing. The guide rod and spring are one unit. This little cam block where the barrel rotates on is one piece, and the barrel itself. Cold forged barrel. So to assemble it, you just hold up. You put this here. You make sure that little hole there is lined straight up, and then you just stick it right. Always hard to do on camera. There you go. I'll let you look at the frame. It has a nice single action trigger. The double action is nice too, smooth. It's a little bit heavy. But anyway, you just take your slide, push this block up and straight. Come on. Hold up. There you go. There you go. It's a little harder to do on camera, always, for some reason, each and every time. I'll let you look at it. This feels beefy, thinner than the 92FS, but longer as well, with 3 interchangeable back straps. Front rear serrations, no loaded shell indicator, firing pin block. You can see it go up. When you're about to pull the trigger, it lets it go through. When you hit the safety, this is what happens. The firing pin isn't allowed to be struck by the hammer because the assembly on the outside rotates. Look, you see? You can't see it anymore. So when the hammer drops, there's no way it can hit the firing pin by accident. You see? When you take it off safety, you see it's allowed to resume its position at fire. So it drops onto there and fires. When the firearm is unsafe, the trigger becomes deactivated. A dead trigger. This holds 14 plus 1. And it came with 2 nice mags, made in Italy and whatnot. I do keep this as a home defense weapon. Let me show you. Loaded with some Federal. But yeah, I do not hesitate whatsoever using this as a home defense type weapon. It has everything I need. The The rail, it's a full-size frame, 40 cal, 40 Smith & Wesson rather. So this is, for me, it's just ideal home defense weapon. I'll set it to the side. Now, my third one is the 94FS Cheetah in 380. It's not the most practical. It's the most expensive 380 I own, or that I've seen for that matter, that is not engraved. It's not quite practical in that it's so big for 380. 23 ounces. It's a double stacked. It's just about as thick as the 92FS in the rear. But this I would not consider a good concealed weapon, in that it has sharp edges, exposed sights along beaver tail. But it is the most beautiful, I think. You can see all the detail. These are very sharp. Everything is very crisp. The lines are very pronounced. It's basically mini 92FS. It's just beautiful. Everything is real crisp on it. The safety. Look at that. This has a frame mounted safety. And it says safety decocker as well. I'll let you see that. This has a magazine disconnect, so it will not fire, even when there's one in the chamber, if there's no magazine in it. For that many, I mean, that for many people is a plus. I really don't care, as I mainly keep this for looks. I've never shot it. Came with 2 of these mags. Made in Italy. You can see the big brother side by side. It's much bigger. You can see how much bigger it is in the little 84FS. But yeah, I plan to one day get the 92FS in an Inox finish to go along with my 84FS Cheetah in an Inox. But yeah, they're amazing. If you want a well-refined firearm, I'd go for Beretta. Their style is more looks as well as usability, but it's like a work of art in a sense. You can see that. A lot of people just get guns for utilitarian purposes, you know, go to the range, toss it around, or whatever. But some people want that plus looks, and if you're into that, go for Beretta. Even though you'll pay a little more, I'd say it's worth it. I mean, compare this to a really cheap 380 and you'll see, I mean, some people don't care, but I care. That's why I saved up and got this. Something that looks just amazing and not afraid to take to the range, or, you know. something you're not afraid to shoot in front of others. Not that I would be anyway. Here's the PX-4. You can see the lines too. Even though it's polymer, it's still refined in a sense. For instance, I'm not dogging on my Sigma, but look. You know, you stick this out, the range or whatever. It just looks like a big block, a big square. It does its job, and I like it. But in the looks department, it doesn't score. For me, for that matter, nearly as much as this. Nevertheless, it's all up to you. All awesome firearms. If you're looking for 92FS, these go for around $570, give or take. I believe the Italian one's bringing a little bit more. I got this back in the day when it was somewhat new still for it was like $540. These new go for around $7. I've seen them as high as $800. I'm not gonna say how much I paid for this, but this is definitely more expensive than the other two were. So if you like looks as well as user friendliness and whatnot, I'd say go for a Beretta. If you're just into getting something that you just want to shoot and not be afraid of losing or tossing around, go for something else. But yeah, that was my review on the PX-4, 92FS, and 84FS. Oh, one more thing. Here. PX-4. Long, thin, feels your hand pretty good. I'd say if you have small hands, get something else, because this is a little big. I like the way it feels perfect. 92FS. Medium, but thick. Goes good for all sorts of hands. Fills it nicely. The Cheetah is very thick. Fills a hand nicely, but it's short, so it doesn't feel heavier in the front or in the rear, but it's quite balanced. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed.